Good morning, my Scott Fishbowl lovers. It's here. It's finally happening. My pick is on the clock, actually. Um, if you have picked already, I hope you had a good time doing it. I just kind of wanted to jump in, give you my thoughts on it, and go from there. So share my draft experience with you. As I pull up my sleeper chat and my league, you can see right here. Let's go to this one actually. Yeah, that's perfect. So you'll see. Here's the league, right? You go into your league, you check your draft room, you light it up, you see where you're standing. As you can see, my draft's been pretty chalk. The one exception is Jefferson went a little bit later than I thought, and T-Law got drafted at 110. So we had the three quarterbacks, the three elite quarterbacks, and then Kelsey. So that top four tier was pretty set. You have Mahomes, Hurts, Allen's, Kelsey. And they've kind of gone in whatever order you want to go in. So realistically, if you're confident in fading those quarterbacks, getting one later, Kelsey seems like the obvious pick. If you want the quarterbacks, there you are. With the rushing bonus, I'm surprised to not see Hurts go one over Mahomes, but it's Patrick Mahomes. It's really hard to be like, oh no, I got my Patrick Mahomes, right? So it's kind of interesting. Now, when we go to that next tier of guys, pick 105 through 108, this seems pretty chalk. So you can tell my draft has been paying attention. They kind of expect the ADP to go show that way, and it did. Lamar 105. I'm not gonna argue with it. I've been a Lamar guy forever. Herbert 106 and Burrow 107. Now that one is basically just to pick your guy. Herbert has a little bit just higher ceiling, but Burrow's as safe as you can get. Honestly, he's just so good. He's not gonna have a season last year like Herbert did, where it was kind of a little bit of a letdown. I think Herbert's the ceiling case, Burrow's the floor play. But realistically, you're choosing between two of the best quarterbacks in the league. So it's not a big deal. Fields at 108. That's the one where Fields has been moving all over the place. Is actually like so we were talking in the Big 12 chat about somebody said they got Fields at 12, and I go, "What? You got Fields at 12?" Like, yeah, I was like, "Sheesh, that is some sweet pick." I want to actually change the tab real quick and show you something else. So what this data is right here, this is the ADP through all the drafts so far, the live and the slow drafts. It's a bit outdated, so this is basically all the live drafts, as you can see. It's not updated yet. It will be, but it's from Ness Roughness on Twitter. You can find it. They put it together. It's fantastic. It gives you where the earliest they went and the latest they went and their average pick. So, for instance, you'll see, like, this is the top of the charts. Jalen Hurts went 101. That's the earliest he went. The latest he went is 105. His average pick is 102. So, same thing with Mahomes, Allen, Kelsey. Somebody got Kelsey at 111, which is just bonkers. I don't know how, but that happens. Burrow went 110, the latest. So, you can kind of see how it falls. And the color coordination helps you a little bit. So anybody who's fallen to the third round, Cooper Kupp, the latest Eckler, so that's 210. That's some sweet value right there. But yeah, it's fun to look at the stuff. You can kind of see the ADP range of players. So if you're in on a particular player, say you love Deshaun Watson, you're like the latest he went 307, the earliest he went is 110. He realistically goes in that 207 range. So if you're on the clock at the 202, right, then you should expect him to be there. Then you get your Ecklers as kind of like an earlier pick, but no problem. So we'll go back to my draft. I will show you who I've been talking about. Now, with the scoring settings, it's Mr. Manders. The thing is, I'm debating switching it up live on there. It usually goes well. Just because I'm a bit nervous with how many people have gone Andrews in that spot, right? So if we go back to the division where it is sleeper, it's right here. Andrews has been pretty chalk pick in that range, and we'll go back to the ADP. So if we go right to this spec right here, right where Lamar's name is, if you see the max minimum range, you go down a little bit. Jamar Chase, he's right on that turn, the 112, 201. Trevor Lawrence. Lawrence went. So all these guys up here. That's been chalked. That's what I mean. None of them are available. The earliest one is Chase. I don't want to take Chase. It's just I'm not as confident, 100% confident that he is going to be like the wide receiver 1 or wide receiver 2. It's entirely possible. I think Chase is a fantastic prospect, but I'm just a little nervous. What I do want is I want the elite running back because I've played with plenty of drafts and I just don't like how my team looks going wide receiver early, just because it's harder to find the running backs I want, and I'm already, I'm not taking QB with this first pick, so that's where it gets interesting. So my thought process behind this is we're going to go Mark Andrews, and then we're going to take either one of Bijan Robinson or Austin Eckler. Now, Bijan's gone a little bit later in drafts. As you can see, he actually has a higher peak, but he's a little later floor. So Bijan's falling a little bit later in drafts. Just because if I'm playing strategy with team structure builds, there's going to be a ton of Austin Eckler's, Mark Andrews. Now it is chalk. Obviously, you can differentiate your ton of picks, but if you do want to stand out, feel free to go somewhere else different. So we're gonna make the easy pick. We're gonna grab Andrews here. So let's go to sleeper, Andrews, and then the decision really is Eckler and Bijan for me. And I've gone back and forth this. The scoring does help Bijan a little bit because it's point per carry. Because Eckler's never been a volume hog on the ground. Like he saw a decent work last year. We're expecting, like I would not be shocked to say Bijan had more touches than Eckler. The thing is, Eckler's just going to be the touchdown machine that he is. He's in an offense that's going to run faster pace, thanks to the new coordinator. But Bijan is going to be a focal point of the Falcons. It's just realistically how do you separate these two? Eckler's been a stud the past few years. He's been the RB1 and the RB2 the last 2 years. Bijan is basically the prospect equivalent of the Saquon Barkley, who, fun fact, people were talking about taking Saquon over these two. And with how last year went for Saquon, I can't do it. There's a lot of cool data, by the way. If you guys are looking for data, I'll happily share it. Reach out to me on Twitter. I can send you a DM. We can give you. I got a spreadsheet from Peter Howard, the GOAT, Howdy, where he put together a lot of cool information. So I will pull it up for you in 1 second. I just have to go pull it up. So a little bit long, but what it does is it breaks down with ADP. Let's go recent. And it also gives you the last 3 years of scoring for these players. So it's pretty cool. Yes, this one right here. So if we pull out this information, right, it's got Amaze Hayes, who, by the way, is in the Big 12 group chat. He just posted a fun little question mark about who has more points per game last year. Mac, what's his name? The Texas quarterback from last year, or Devonta Smith, and you would be surprised by the answer. But anyways, we'll go back to this. So you have their last 3 years in points per game, their value over their baseline, so how valuable that player was. And if you look, you see Mark Andrews 2 years ago, he was 19.8 points better over baseline. He's just fantastic. Now, Austin Eckler last year was 15 points over baseline. So you can see that Eckler's been absolute stud. He's just been fantastic. He put 30 points back-to-back years. The difference is the scoring is a little bit different, as you can tell, because case in point, look at how the difference in he scored the same, but you see the difference in 2022 and 2021, how the difference was. And then on the other hand, Andrews, 28 points per game from a tight end or 21. And you see how that drastically changed. I just took Andrews because I want the elite tight end. I didn't want to pass out or miss those tight ends. So I'm just gonna take Eckler. Like, I'm not gonna make this too complicated. As much as I love Bijan, I'm just not 100% confident he gets all of that work we want to see through the air. Would it shock me if he's going to be the RB1 this year? No, absolutely it would not. But Eckler's he's so good. I have a hard time. Maybe it's because he won me a few championships last year. I don't know. I can't not turn away from Eckler. So we are going to take Mr. Austin Eckler. And that's it. So that's how my team's looking out right now. So if we look at my first 2 picks on my team, I got Eckler, the running back spot. I got Andrews, the tight end spot. Now I could have gone quarterback if you were 100% confident in Dak Prescott, Deshaun Watson, but it just falls. It's so many of these guys are similar. It's just not something that I feel like I'm getting differentiating points. So just keep that in mind. If you have questions, reach out. Find me on Twitter, JM105. I'm on all the social platforms, but just kind of want to give you a breakdown on my draft and see how it's going and touching base with you all. So just go out and enjoy your drafts. That's all you gotta do. Have fun. Pick the guys you want. If you have a tiebreaker, you're like, man, this guy's better, but I like this guy's situation better, then just go with that guy. It's not really a big deal. There's 3,300 plus people in this. Just enjoy yourselves. Have fun in your chats. Blow them up. Have a good time. Razz each other for bad picks because that's always hilarious. If someone reaches really ahead, where we saw the one where Fields went 101, like that's going to cause some uproar in a few drafts, right? So you could just have fun with it. That's what this is all about. I hope you all enjoyed the potathon. I thought it was fantastic. My favorite part was probably the Aussie guys talking to Peter Howard and the spaceman. And they were quizzing them on American fast foods and whatnot. It was hilarious. But anyways, we'll check back in since I have 301, since we have the third round reversal. Don't forget that there's third round reversal, folks. So pay attention to that. But I'll check back in my 301. We'll talk about how my draft's gone there, how the teams are looking, where I'm going to there. You might be surprised who I'll be targeting at that pick, but it sure makes it for interesting. But anyways, thanks for checking in. And yeah, look forward to seeing y'all later today. Enjoy Scott Fishbowl. This is what it's all about.